So, one thing we always start with on this
All
is origin stories.
Origin stories, okay?
So, where did Sam Herr grow up?
Okay.
Because this year's not always right, but I've got Hinsdale, Illinois.
Yeah.
So, what kind of town is Hinsdale?
It's a west suburb of Chicago. Preppy. It's your stereotypical white picket fence kind of town.
Although you've
It's
seen all the
not
films.
too big. Yeah, not too big. I think there was 16, 17,000 people in it. And yeah. Hinsdale Central is what it surrounds around.
Do you still go back there sometimes? Then?
Yeah, all the time.
Is that where your family are still
Yeah,
based there?
my parents are still there. My brother lives in the city. Always comes out to Hinsdale all the time. In the summers, I'll spend at least a month there. Go back. I like it. I loved it. My wife Taylor's from just the town over, so she might as well be from Hinsdale as well too. So, yeah, no, we like it a lot. Yeah, no complaints for summertime. It gets cold there in the winters. Yeah.
Well, it still counts as I know Chicago's the windy city, isn't it? So
Yeah.
it's all pretty cold. I'm generalising, but I'm sure it's all
No,
pretty
it's
cold.
yeah, it's windy. That's for sure.
So when was your first experience with ice hockey? What age were you?
I think I started skating when I was 3. I was rollerblading when I was 2. I got in it because of my brother. He loved the Mighty Ducks.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Charlie Conway, my older brother Charlie. So he loved Charlie Conway was the main character. He got into there, and then I kind of just followed him in, and then just stuck with it.
Did you play any other sports?
Yeah. I mean, when I was really young, I played baseball, but I mean, I gave that up pretty early. So it was pretty much hockey my whole life. I mean, baseball was Little League. Besides that, it was hockey.
Do you remember the first game, like the first pro game you went to,
That I went to?
or you saw, kind of thing?
Yeah, the first, yeah. I mean, when I was really young, I do remember. I remember going to a couple Blackhawks games. I went to a couple Chicago Wolves games. I couldn't really tell you much more than that. Though the first memory I kind of have of like a big event is when I was young. The Shillelagh tournament, college hockey, Notre Dame actually hosts it, and they were playing at the All-State Arena. And so, growing up in Chicago, Notre Dame's obviously big, and so we went to that when we were young, and that was kind of like the first time I remember watching a hockey game and a big event and stuff like that. But like I know I went to some Hawks games and stuff like that, but can't really tell
It's
you.
a bit fuzzy, kind
yeah,
of
a
thing.
little fuzzy, exactly.
Because on the list I've got in front of me, the first team this says you played for was the Chicago Chill
Chicago Chill, yeah.
Major AAM, proving that the ice hockey world is a very small world. You had a teammate on there who you're currently playing against in the Elite League in Nolan Laporte,
Nolan Laporte, yeah.
which must be quite surreal.
Yeah, no, he and I have known each other for a really long. We were actually when I was in Green Bay, we were in Green Bay together, and we were actually line mates for all 2 years in Green Bay. Yeah, it was funny. Like we first time we played each other, we just looked at each other and we're like, would never have thought this was going to happen again. All the way in England too. Obviously it wasn't in the U.S. We had to go to England to play against each other. But yeah, no, Nolan's been a really good friend of mine. He's a character, and yeah, no, I've really good friend.
And then you work your way through the Chicago system. Was the goal was this always your goal through school and stuff, that you want to try and make it as a ice hockey player then?
Yeah. I bounced around a little bit in the AAA level. My size kind of was a little restricting back then. It wasn't until like high school where I really started growing.
Okay.
So back then I was getting cut for. I mean, I think I got cut from every single team.
Wow.
Yeah, all the time. There was always that one team that took a chance on me in Chicago, but the other 3 didn't at all. So it was kind of stressful, but once I started getting towards high school, I realized I was, just as good as anybody, regardless of what they were saying about my size. And so that's when I kind of was just like, yeah, I want to. At first, it was a love for the game, obviously, and I wanted to play at the highest level of my age, and I was. But then once, 8th grade, freshman year of high school kind of started, then I was thinking, yeah, there was a future, yeah.
And then you go through the Chicago system, the Chicago Mission under 18s, and another quite noticeable name on that team is Garrett Sparks.
Garrett Sparks, yeah, with Vegas now, yeah.
Yeah. He's at Toronto
Yeah.
as well, wasn't he, for a bit?
Yeah, he was with Toronto. Got called up and down. Yeah, Sparksy, he was. I skate with him in the summers every now and then too. He was awesome. I mean, we won. We actually won the national championship that year with the Chicago Mission. He was our goalie, and
Okay.
I mean, if not the biggest reason why, one of the biggest reasons why. He was split in time. Obviously, AAA is a lot different than it is now. Like if you got two goalies in AAA, you're going to play them both. And so he was playing every other game because we also had a really good goalie other than him too. But again, it's travel hockey. We're kids, so you're not going to favor one as much. But once like state tournaments started coming around, tournaments in Canada that we traveled to, and obviously that national championship, he took over. He was our guy, and he led us.
Was that the first championship you'd won through hockey, or did you won?
First probably really major championship. Yeah. I mean, I don't think that sheet goes way back.
No.
So it starts with the chill. I played for the Mission probably 3 or 4 years before that. I've won 3 state championships. Obviously, it's not like Minnesota. Illinois winning a state championship like that. We really only have 4 teams. Obviously, they're good 4 hockey teams, so I was still happy to win them. But it's not the world's greatest accomplishment. But they were fun. And my Chicago Mission teams growing up, we won some tournaments in Canada that were pretty cool because back then Canadian travel hockey, you had these phenoms growing up. You have these guys that everyone's talking about, even at age 12, 13 years old. You have them talking about how they're the next, Wayne Gretzky.
It's like with McDavid and people, didn't
Yeah, honestly, yeah. You see it, and that's the talk, is that this guy's going to the NHL at age 12. And, when we go in there, and we always knew we had a good team across the nation and the U.S., and then we go in there and we win tournaments against these high-end teams. So that was kind of cool.
Quite satisfying as well, I imagine.
Yeah, and I mean, especially at age, what is it, 12, 13, 14? You win those games, and it's a lot of fun. Then that's when you start to love the game, is moments like that.
And then you finish with the Chicago Mission, you say, with that championship, and then you go to the Green Bay Gamblers in the USHL.
Yeah.
What's the USHL?
The USHL is a junior league. It's kind of, I guess, hockey for dummy version. It's just a stepping stone.
That would help me very much.
Yeah, it's like a stepping stone to college.
Okay.
Yeah.
So rather than going the WHL, OHL route.
That is, that's major junior. So that forfeits your NCAA eligibility if you take that route.
So if you go in there, you can't go.
You can't go to college. So yeah, if you want to go to college, there's specific leagues you go to. There's a lot of great leagues. USHL is probably the league to go to, if not one of the top 2 for sure. That BCHL is a good league. I know that as well.
So did Green Bay recruit you then?
Yeah, they have a draft. So they drafted me. I was a 6th rounder in that draft. I got drafted there. So they had my rights, and then I go to their tryout, and I made the team the first year. And then I was stuck with them for 2 years, and in my first year is when I committed to Notre Dame. So after my second year, that was the plan, was always to go to Notre Dame after 2 years.
So you always wanted to go to college, and you said Notre Dame's a big deal in Illinois. But were they always your number one option?
No, actually not. It was weird. Well, also too, when I was growing up, like in the Chicago Mission organization, they do a really good job of kind of starting to express that, hey, you're on the path to go to play college hockey. So let's kind of start making you aware. And so they talk to you about what kind of schools you're interested in, what kind of schools. If you're for me, I always thought I was a pretty smart kid. They kind of recognized that, so they were making sure that academics was a big part of where I wanted to go play college hockey as well. So, but Notre Dame, no, it wasn't really because, getting bounced around Chicago before I got back into the Chicago mission, I didn't think I was, I guess, good enough to get a high-end school like
They're
Notre
quite prestigious,
Dame.
aren't they?
Yeah, and they're becoming more and more as well too. But yeah, no, I didn't think I could, get a school like Notre Dame. Like Michigan was always interesting to me because I went played a bunch of tournaments in Michigan, so we got to see the rink and we watched a game and saw the campus. So I was always interested in Michigan as well, but I didn't think that was realistic. And they kind of helped me realize that, like, you got to start thinking that way. Also, just to have me start believing in myself is more than anything. But my dad helped me a lot too, making me start to believe that a school like Notre Dame is possible. And then once Notre Dame kind of came knocking, it's pretty hard to turn them down.
Yeah, but like I say, iconic, especially with the gold helmets in the pictures and things.
It's as good as it comes.
And with Green Bay, you played a lot of games. You got a lot of what seems to be two deep, pretty playoff runs in there as well.
Yeah, we lost the finals my first year to Game 4. Johnny Gaudreau.
Johnny Hockey.
Yeah, Johnny Hockey kind of took it to us there. And then my second year, we won it. And that was, the second biggest championship after that's a bigger championship than the national championship, but that was the second time winning a big championship like that. That was a lot of fun. Yeah,
because that feeling when you win, it kind of becomes contagious, doesn't it? Because a lot of times they say it takes one for you to then win.
Yeah, well, you realize what it takes to win. You realize, in big games, the level you need to play at and stuff like that. And a lot if you're not used to it, and you're playing a game and everything seems like it's okay, it kind of takes a guy that's been in that situation to kind of realize, hey, it's not okay right now. We got to kind of pick it up a notch, stuff like that. Just little things, and it's just always, it gives you a lot of experience, playing in that type of a situation, a must win, and coming out successful, because then you do realize, what kind of what needs to happen in order to get it done.
It's quite special to win a championship even at that young of an age, because sometimes guys can go through a whole career and not win anything.
Yeah, no, I mean, absolutely. It was, it was very special. I mean, that was a year out of high school too. So it was a year before my freshman year of college. And so I'm 18 years old and I'm, winning a championship with some of my best friends. And, you work all year for it. And yeah, it was a really special moment. My family was out for the finals. It was a lot of fun. It's a memory I'll have. One of my favorite hockey memories for sure. Like, I'll have that for the rest of my life. Absolutely.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So you finish with Green Bay. You go to Notre Dame. Is that the wrong way to say it? Or
yeah. Notre Dame. Yeah.
Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Notre Dame. Yeah. I've heard that too. Yeah.
I'm not that upper class. I can't pull that one off.
It all works.
So, do you remember your first day on campus there?
Yeah. Yeah. I remember so I did an official visit.
Is that after they pick you, or is that like before?
Well, so my first year in Green Bay, I remember I had a game in Sioux Falls, and had a pretty good game. And Andy Slaggert, who is an assistant coach there, and he's in charge of recruiting. He pulled me out of the locker room after the game and wanted to introduce himself and kind of start telling me like that he had interest. So after that, we talked on the phone to come out for an official visit. So then I, drive home and go out on a weekend. We had an off, couple off days in Green Bay. So then I drive out to Notre Dame and I meet with the coaches, and they kind of walk me around campus. They expressed that they offered a scholarship at that time, and they expressed, what they thought my future would be like at Notre Dame. And I remember I had friends that were already on the team. at Notre Dame too. Obviously, it's like a heavy Chicago team, like we talked about. So it was cool to see them, and they kind of they walked me around too, and yeah, I remember very clearly. It's just getting to know everybody and getting to see the way things work, and it was eye opening.
And what did you study while you were there?
I was a marketing major.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, marketing major. I had ambitions to do a lot of minors, but once I realized that they were more work, they didn't last too long. So
it's taking time away from practice as well.
Yeah, exactly. Hockey first.
So do you remember your first game for Notre Dame?
Yeah, first game was against Maine, and we went to this tournament. Right now, I don't know, Kansas City. Yeah, we went to a tournament in Kansas City. It was like a 4-team preseason tournament. And I was actually in a good position to start because we had some left wingers injured right off the bat. So I was playing a good amount first couple games. And, yeah, my first game was against Maine. Hit the crossbar. Ooh. My first game. Yeah, that was unfortunate. But I remember going really well, and I remember my dad came out to see me. He was obviously he's not going to miss a moment like that too, and I was glad he was out there. And yeah, I just remember talking to him after. We knew it was I belonged there. It was one of those kind of games where I felt at home.
Yeah, especially like a Chicago kid putting on the iconic gold helmet must have been.
Oh, my mom! The first time my mom saw me, she cried. Yeah, we skated out. We played. I think it was another preseason exhibition game against the USA program. I think that's who we played. And yeah, she cried when she saw me come out of the tunnel.
And so you had some pretty special teammates on that team as well. Anders Lee, Brian Rust, and Stephen Johns. Yeah, they're probably the most noticeable names on there.
Yeah, no, I mean 3 NHLers for sure.
And when you're there, can you tell at that level that they're just this next step above, or is it just?
Yeah. I mean, Anders Lee and Stephen Johns.
Lee's a big guy.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'll single those two out right now. Anders Lee and Stephen Johns, physically, you could tell that they were above college hockey. Stephen Johns is 235 pounds. Anders Lee was 220 pounds. So they're both just solid muscle.
No one can move them.
Yeah, exactly. They never got knocked off the puck. And Stephen Johns can skate too. That was the really impressive thing about him. But then on top of that, 2 very good hockey players. So you could tell right away that those 2 were, night and day, better than college hockey. Brian Rust, obviously, very, very skilled and very good skater, like one of the best skaters I've ever seen. So you knew he had the attributes to move on. What he's doing right now is very, very impressive. I don't think he's definitely improved. I don't want this to sound bad, like he wasn't a good college player, because he was.
No one saw that coming.
I mean, as soon as he got his opportunity at the pro level, it was. I mean, he took it and ran. I mean, he's doing phenomenal, and obviously, like I said, he had so much skill, and he was a very good skater, and he was a very good college hockey player, one of the better players in the country. But now he's proven to be one of the best players in the NHL. I mean, he's got, 45 points already this year? And, I mean, he didn't play the first 10, 15 games of the year, too. So, yeah, what he's doing right now is really impressive. And, I'm happy for him. He was a line mate at Notre Dame for a good amount of time. So I got to play with him, and he made my job very easy.
It's just 13, according to this sheet, just 13 games in that first year. Is that just because you're one of the new guys in and it's a chop and change kind of thing?
Yeah. I wasn't happy about that, obviously. I thought I could have done a little bit more. But yeah, I guess that was, my role was, I was told I was a replaceable player in my.
Wow.
Well, no, that's
harsh.
No, not that. No, I didn't mean it as a harsh saying. Like, I was in the role.
Yeah,
I was in the role where I was odd man out. If they needed to get somebody in the lineup, I was the one coming out of the line. I didn't mean it like I was no, not like that. But
That would have been pretty harsh to tell a rookie. No. Spent all this time recruiting you. You're replaceable.
That's not what I meant. Sorry, that might have been a bad word to say. No, but yeah, I was, the 13th forward on our team that year. And I was in the hard part too that my coach, Jeff Jackson there kind of told me was I was battling against a couple seniors to play too. So, if all was equal, he was going to throw the senior in there, which, I mean, they've earned, right? They were there for their fourth year. And so it was unfortunate. I wasn't extremely happy about it, especially coming off the year that I had in Green Bay. But, it's the way it goes.
It's kind of good because I can put a chip on your shoulder for the rest of your time there.
Oh, it did.
It
did. Yeah, it did. Yeah, no, I was, I respect the hell out of Jeff Jackson and what he does for his players and that organization and stuff like that. I have nothing bad to say about him. And maybe that was my, maybe that should have been my process was, maybe I didn't earn all those games that I thought I might have. And like you said, chip on the shoulder, that's what got me going. I came back the next year. I wasn't happy. And, I wanted to prove to him that, I should play. There's no excuse why I shouldn't have played last year. And I think that's probably why, my sophomore year was my best year too. And, playing with a guy like Brian Rust too helps, obviously. But yeah, no, it gives you a little chip for sure.
Yeah. And then that year, the NCAA champion as well that year.
My freshman year, we won our conference.
This just says NCAA champion CCHA.
CCHA, Central Collegiate Hockey Association. That was our league.
So many initials with all these things. That's all
I know. That was our league. So we won our league that year. Pretty cool. We beat Michigan in the final, so it was kind of cool that we had the Notre Dame Michigan rivalry. Unfortunately, I didn't suit up for that game, but it was cool to still be a part of it, and got a ring for it. So I was happy, very happy to be a part of it.
And then I'm just going to go back here before we go forward a year. Sure. You played for the USA under-19s. That must have been a pretty cool moment for your second year in Green Bay.
For sure. Second year in Green Bay, got called to do that World Junior A Challenge with Team USA. We went to British Columbia. I didn't see it coming. My second year in Green Bay, point-wise, ended very well. First 15 games weren't that great. I was playing good hockey, but I wasn't putting up that many points. And that's when I got invited to go to this tournament. So it kind of threw me off of why I got invited. But once I did, I was obviously extremely proud and honored to get – I mean, like I said, I was still playing pretty good hockey, so not to say that I didn't earn it at all. But I was surprised, and, it was, words can't describe how cool it is to wear a USA sweater. I mean, I'm sure you talk to all these guys playing for GB, it's special. And, and I got to do it with, two other teammates on my Green Bay team. My centerman, Alex Broadhurst, who's still playing over in the States, came with me. He and I, we always had good chemistry on the ice, and that could have been a big part of it, why too. So that was fun. And then while we're in British Columbia, we actually traded, the Green Bay team traded for another player, Jordan Schmaltz, who was on my Chicago Mission U18 team. We traded for him during the tournament to come play with us in Green Bay, so that added another teammate that I was there with.
And you scored in that tournament. Do you remember your goal?
I did. Yeah, I did. It was.
So imagine that just sticks in there. I imagine.
Yeah, it was a 2-on-1. I was coming in on my backhand. I didn't have the puck, and their guy who I don't remember who shot the puck, who I was on a 2-on-1 with, but he shot it, and I just knocked home a rebound. Yeah, it was cool.
Did you get to keep the puck?
No. It was no. It was actually, like I said, point wise too. I don't think I scored my first. I think it was 15-ish games in Green Bay. So that was my first goal of that season too. So that was also kind of, obviously it was cool to score for USA, but it was also kind of nice to get the first one out of the way that year too.
Yeah, so that must be, I can't imagine the feeling. Is it a phone call you get? Is it text message, email? Does a coach pull you aside?
It was, I remember it. We were sitting in the locker room before practice one day, and everybody kind of knows that tournament's coming around the corner. But no idea when I did no idea when they picked the team or anything like that. And then before practice, our coach is kind of going over the practice game plan and stuff like that. And he said, and then real quick, we got to honor Alex Broadhurst, Ryan McKay, who was our goalie, and then Sam Herr for getting nominated to go to that USA team. And it threw me off. Like I said, I didn't know it was coming. And, it was special.
And we'll go back to Notre Dame now. You come back for your second year. You've got level 2. You've got that chip on your shoulder. You play 40 games, 27 points.
Yeah.
That must have been. Were you just put in a more regular spot than did the coach just trust you in?
Yeah. I was first line that year. I played my way into the first line. I'm proud of that.
Is that just like through like training camp preseason and first game comes around and he goes right first line?
Well, no, I still had to earn it. I didn't get to the first line until about halfway through the year.
Okay.
I was still playing through the third line, first half, but I was playing well, and I was starting to produce on the third line, and I started getting some power play chances. And I started doing pretty well on the power play too. And my power play unit had Brian Rust on it. And it had TJ Tynan, who, he's seen the NHL minutes with the Avalanche this year too. And he's a phenomenal AHL player. Like, he should be in the NHL, hands down.
The other name I've got here is Vinny Hinostroza.
Yeah, Vinny was there that year. Yeah, and I bounced around with him a little bit on the power play too. But yeah, so like I started building chemistry with, in specific, Brian Rust and TJ Tynan, and then our coach kind of saw that and gave me a shot with them on their line and never looked back. Really, we gelled. Yeah.
And then that year you scored 14 goals. That means you got your first Notre Dame goal that year.
Yeah.
Do you remember that goal?
Yeah, tip-in. Yeah, it was the second game of the year, Western Michigan at Western Michigan, which is a really cool place to play in. It's kind of like a little bit older hockey building. Not too old, but a little bit older. Half of the ice behind the penalty box, that half is all students, and they're rowdy. And so, pass went up to the point. I got in front of the net, shot, just tipped it in, glove side. It was pretty cool, yeah.
That was just a really cool feeling.
Well, they didn't give it to me right off the bat. Yeah, they gave it to the D-man that took the shot.
Just get the game sheet afterwards.
Yeah, no, they don't do that in the States. So we had to tell that, I don't know, everyone. I mean, I knew I tipped it, and we had to make sure we got it. But I did get to keep that puck there because that's hanging in my room back home. That's
a special one.
Yeah, that one's got a, I don't know, puck frame, if that's what you call it. That one's got a puck frame around it for sure.
And then, so at this point, are you starting to look at? Do you start to hear like rumblings at that early stage about what professional teams are going to be looking for you, or is it just concentrating on college at that point?
Yeah. I mean,
because I imagine at that point you're looking at agents. And
there's a bigger. Yeah, I mean, you got a bigger goal, obviously, so you're aware of it. My first year in the USHL, I talked with my coach a little bit, and he kind of every now and then expressed. There was a couple NHL scouts that, talked about me after specific games, and he let me know. My second year, nothing really came of it. My first year, draft year, I didn't get drafted and, didn't talk to any teams. My second year obviously went really well. Did a couple of draft interviews with some teams. Obviously didn't get drafted, but
what kind of thing do they ask you at a draft interview? What kind of question is it? Just are they watching tape on you, or is it just them asking you questions about you?
They might. I don't. Yeah, they might be asking, watching tape, but they're definitely coming to watch you play. And in the USHL too, like that USA program, plays in that USHL, and those guys, you have 10 first rounders on the team every single year, kind of thing. So. The NHL scouts are all over the USHL, and so they're coming constantly to watch. And specifically, our team, we had some draft like that. Jordan Schmaltz was on our team. He was a first rounder.
Is he Chicago?
He's from Milwaukee, Wisconsin,
No,
or Madison,
did
Wisconsin.
Did Chicago draft him? Is that where he went?
No, St. Louis
Yes,
drafted him.
that's it,
Yeah, St. Louis drafted him. Yeah, so they're all over. They come to watch you play live enough. Or I don't know if they really need to watch you in film. But yeah, so in the draft interviews, they kind of just really ask you what kind of player, like have me describe to them what kind of player I am. I remember asking, if I would play tough. I remember asking if I wouldn't be afraid to fight. I remember getting asked what kind of person I am. Just describe to me what kind of person you are. Not even a player, just kind of person. But yeah, I think they just, they don't really need, I think it's just mind games, really. I mean, that's just my opinion. I don't know, because they know what kind of player I am.
Yeah.
They watch me. They don't know all that stuff. So they just want, I would imagine they're just looking for somebody that just believes in themselves, kind of thing, and just all around is a good kid.
Just to check you're not completely delusional or something.
Exactly. Yeah, that too. Which you hear some stories too.
When you're a college kid, you think the world's your oyster.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's say you go third year at Notre Dame, then fourth year at Notre Dame, and in the fourth year at Notre Dame, we'll start with you got to see and play with Dylan Malmquist.
Dylan,
who you're
yeah,
currently playing with.
yeah,
That must be pretty cool.
yeah.
What do you remember about Dylan from that was his first year, wasn't it?
Yeah.
What do you remember about that?
He was fun. No, I don't mean that in a bad way. No, Dylan was the man. I mean, he was the freshman that came in that, just got along with everybody right off the bat. He was coming in so he took a little bit of a different route to get to college. He played Minnesota high school. And usually, usually from high school, you go play juniors. Dylan skipped the junior route and came straight to Notre Dame because, he was good enough to do that.
Well, he went to the NHL camp this summer, I think. He went to the Wild NHL camp.
Yeah, so he was good. He was definitely good enough to do that. And so he came in, but it's a little tough, like physically mature. Maybe a little step behind. But, credit to him. He's one of those guys, that works at it, He's a laid back human being. And he likes to keep things light, but, he cares about hockey, and so he worked at it. But I mean, Dylan, what I do remember is the skill of hockey was noticeable right from the start. So nobody on our team ever had to worry about Dylan, from a hockey standpoint, and we were all just happy. He came in and he was a guy that everybody can get along with. A lot of times, freshmen or rookies in general, they're shy and stuff like that. And Dylan,
he's not shy.
No, he's not shy. He's a friend from the start.
So you got him in his rookie year in college. Now you get him as his rookie year in a pro.
Yeah.
That's quite serendipitous.
Yeah, yeah.
And now he's your center as well.
Yeah. I'm trying to think if maybe a game or two played with him at Notre Dame. I don't think we weren't really line mates in Notre Dame. But yeah, no, it's cool that I'm playing. Everyone's seeing it. He's a great player.
It took him a while to get his first goal, but since then he's just settled.
Yeah, and it is a huge adjustment.
From college to
pro, it is.
Especially going to a different country.
And
well.
then I was gonna say, take it a step farther, playing a European style. I know, like this league does kind of simulate a North American style a little bit, but
just on a bigger ice.
Yeah, but it is on a bigger ice and stuff like that, and so you do have to play a little bit different than he's accustomed to. And especially Notre Dame. Like, Notre Dame's a really systematic organization. And, obviously we play our systems here. And obviously Wally's coming from Notre Dame too. And but, yeah, Notre Dame, you play a really specific style of hockey. And so to get out of that, and to come here, it's different. Just bottom line. That's all that's the only really way I could describe it. It's just different. So no one's going to blame him for, I wouldn't say he played bad, the first half of the year.
Oh no, he was like,
exactly.
just couldn't get that.
Yeah,
he just needed to get it off his back.
Yeah, because he is a point producer. And so, I'm sure he wasn't really happy about putting up points to start, but no one's gonna blame it. It's a huge adjustment, and like I said, going to pro in general, and then take it a step further, come over here. It is, in my first half of my rookie year playing pro, I was a step behind too. I mean, everybody is, and so now it's. He's taken off.
When he got that goal against Sheffield, you could just see how happy
Yeah.
everyone on the bench was.
Well, it's a relief. And it does make a difference because if you don't have it, it gets in your head. You start thinking about it. You start gripping the stick. Then you start worrying about other things more, and then it takes away your focus from maybe playing a little bit more offensive, and it eats at you. So when you get that first one, it's a big relief.
Well, it's not the same situation with being a rookie, but it's almost a similar situation with Bulms as well, when he was snake bitten for ages.
Yeah.
He got that really greasy goal in Coventry where he poked one over the line.
Yeah.
And since then it was just back to the Brett Bulmer everyone knew last year at Fife. It was just
it's getting the monkey off your
game
back.
Of confidence.
Yeah,
as well.
this game is every single player on this team is good enough to play hockey. Like it's 80% mental, 20% physical ability. It's everybody knows the level that they can play at because they've done it at some point in their career. It's as far as like scoring goes, getting that first one means everything.
It just frees up the mind.
It does, and it does. And like you see it with Dylan, you see it with Bones, like night and day different as soon as they get that first one for sure.
And so in your third year at Notre Dame, you got an A on your jersey. Is that a team vote? Is that coach's decision? That must be pretty.
That was more a coach's decision, I think.
It must be nice to have that feeling that he has that faith in you to give.
Oh, for sure. Especially too, like a lot of times. I mean, especially at Notre Dame, captaincy comes at the senior level, really. And obviously, people come around and they're captains and stuff. Their junior year, maybe even their sophomore year. Anders Lee was I think they wanted to give Anders Lee a cap, like the C.
That could be like a pitch to get someone in, can't it?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, not at Notre Dame.
Okay.
Notre Dame. You were in that through Coach Jackson. But yeah, like I was going to say, for an example, like Anders Lee, they wanted to give him the C out his sophomore year, because he's just that kind of guy. They didn't do it just because they had people that earned it a little bit older than him, but. So yeah, that's just an example of somebody that can get it earlier. But so it was a huge honor. Maybe one that I wasn't really, again, another thing that I wasn't really expecting to come my junior year. But yeah, it's a huge honor that the coach trusts me with that responsibility because too at Notre Dame you got to live up to certain standards. They pride themselves on being, I guess, for lack of a better term, good. Yeah. And like in all aspects of life, you're a good student, you're a good person, you're, a good player, you're, responsible, you're all that kind of stuff. And so that it wasn't just a hockey responsibility. Obviously, like captaincy anywhere isn't just, the sport itself, but there they really hammer it home. Like you're part of a bigger picture wearing this letter. And so, again, it was cool that I got honored with that because of the importance of that.
And does he call you into his office too? Is that one of those stood in front of the room?
No, he pulled me in the office and told me, me and another, the three captains, my buddy Stephen Fogarty.
He's had some NHL games, hasn't he?
Yeah, he just got sent down from the Rangers, but he's been up with the Rangers for a good amount this year. And then Peter Schneider, who I played with, the three of us, Stephen wore the C and Peter and I wore the A, and they called us three in the office and explained to us what was going on.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was cool. It was for sure.
And you come back for the fourth year, and then the back end of that year you end up playing for Ontario?
Yeah. Yeah, so after that season, I signed with Ontario.
So as soon as the college season finished, you signed with them?
Yeah.
Were they talking to you throughout the season, saying they were interested, or was that just were you looking after the season finished?
They were in contact with my agent, advisor at the time. Obviously, he's not the agent at the time; he's my advisor. But they were in contact with him towards the end of the year, expressing their interest and that they were coming to watch me, finish the year out and stuff like that. And then after the year, it was, about a week of negotiations with them and a couple other teams, and made a deal and moved on.
And that's part of the Kings organization, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the Kings minor league team. Yeah.
So that's pretty. So did you sign a one way with them, or were you on like a where you could move up kind of thing?
I was on a one way with Ontario.
Was it a 1 year? Was it just a tryout? The first was it like the first you play the back end of the year? Is that like just a trial kind of thing? Or did you sign?
I signed for the following year. Yeah, I signed for, I think when I graduated in 2016.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I signed for 2016, 2017 with Ontario, and I was on. What they do is, because obviously I didn't have a contract for that current season, so I did a tryout agreement to finish that year. But I was already signed for the following season.
It's like an example, like the level up. It's like kind of what Chris Kreider did when he came out of Boston College. He then went to play for the Rangers, and then went and played in the NHL playoffs, kind of thing.
Yeah,
Same
just
setup.
AHL.
Yeah.
Version. Yeah. Obviously, I wasn't, on a Stanley Cup run and stuff like that, but
You never know.
yeah,
Could
maybe. No.
So getting that experience with Ontario must have been huge going into that next year, just to experience it before.
Yeah.
So do you remember your first day when you got there?
When I got there, I met the team in Stockton, California. Yeah, I met the team in Stockton, California. So I flew out from Notre Dame to San Francisco, and they drove me to Stockton. And so I flew out Thursday night. They had a game on Friday that they told me I wasn't going to play in. They had a game Friday, Saturday, and they said I wasn't going to play in those games. And we had a game the following Wednesday. So that was projected to be my first game. So I flew out, and then Friday morning, I got in really late. Friday morning, met the team at the rink. It's right across the street from the hotel, so you just walk over whenever you're ready. Met the team. It was game day, obviously, so we did a pregame skate. And I remember sticking around a little bit after the skate to do a little extra work with some of the other healthy scratches. And, watched the game. And the next day, we drove to Bakersfield, and they told me I was playing the next day. So, it happened pretty quick. I was in really late Thursday night, and I was playing the game on Saturday.
So there's stories. It's the same story we hear, like a story about a guy getting traded. It's you're out of the building the next day and you're playing as soon as you get there, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But on that Ontario team, there's some pretty cool names. You got Peter Budaj, Paul Bissonnette, who's a character.
Yeah.
Who actually played in this league as well.
Yeah.
During the lockout. Kevin Rain, who's at Cardiff.
No, Belfast.
Sorry. Oh God. Ryan Horvat.
Yeah.
And Adrian Kempe.
Yep.
What do you remember about Horvey?
No.
We'll start with him.
Awesome. I mean, he friendly right from the start. He and I were kind of in the same role with our team. We're playing a similar style of hockey for our team, and we were both kind of trying to fight to get in the lineup, and so there was a lot of respect with he and I right from the start, because obviously we were
the same age as well, aren't you?
I'm a little bit older than him.
Yeah,
He's
I know it's close.
Yeah, close enough. Yeah, I mean, I guess it doesn't matter anymore, right? But, he's a 94. I'm a 92. So there was respect right from the start, because, I saw him, fight for a lineup spot, and he saw me fight for a lineup spot, and so, you see, like I got to see how much he cared, and he got to see how much I cared right from the start, and so obviously we were in competition in a sense with each other, trying to get jobs, but there was I like to think there was a lot of mutual respect right from the start, because we were in it together and we were working hard together.
And did guys like Kevin Rain, Paul Bissonnette, I don't know if you're still in contact with them, did they help with you making your decision to come to the Elite League at all? Obviously, because they'd had experience here.
No, I didn't.
But sometimes guys reach out.
Yeah,
it just depends if you're in contact with them.
Yeah, it wasn't. I do talk to Rainer. Like when we go to Belfast, I'll speak with Rainer a little bit. But yeah, I was there. I was there that year, going into Ontario, for about 2 months. And so with Rainer, he and I, were friendly, and we became friends, but weren't the closest, and just by nature of being the time of being together, so And also too, I didn't know he was on Belfast. You know, when I came here, so when I played him on Belfast and I saw him skating in warm-ups, I'm like, Rainer. So yeah, that was that. Biz too. Yeah. I actually played my first full year with Ontario. Who was with Biz too. So he and I were pretty good friends. But yeah, no, I didn't know he wasn't a guy that I really reached out to. He and I kind of really, might not be keep in touch as much.
Well, he's got his thing now, hasn't he?
Yeah, I know he's
everywhere now.
Literally everywhere.
And then also that first year, you get to experience AHL playoffs as well.
Yeah,
and you got to game time in AHL playoffs.
Yeah, when I first joined the team, we had a pretty legit team for that league. We made it all the way to the conference finals, lost to Lake Erie, Cleveland, who ended up going on to win it. But yeah, no, I got to play some playoffs. I played all the regular season games that I was there for. And then, people came back healthy and we kind of had a little bit of a full roster, and I was able to play my way into a couple games, which was cool, it's high intensity hockey. I thought I knew what playoffs was all about, and I mean, obviously the NHL is to a whole different degree, but there it's intense. And I mean, you got guys playing 500 NHL games, that are in those type of games too, competing, so they know what it's all about too, and so you're seeing some of the best players in the world compete for a championship, so it's pretty intense, and I learned a lot being there.
And I say, having that experience before going into your first full year must have helped you a tremendous amount.
Yeah, it did. It did because for many reasons. One, you get to just see how professional hockey works. You get to see what it's all about. You get to see, the best in the business, how they operate, and how they take care of themselves, and you figure what you realize what you should emulate and stuff like that. So that helped. Obviously, playing the games, you get to realize what the speed of the game is like, the physicality of the game is like. You get to realize what you need to do in order to make an impact in a game, and then I got to build a relationship with my coach, with the organization for a little bit before going into my rookie season. So yeah, it did help tremendously.
And then you come back for your second season with them. Mm-hmm. It looks like the team had a bit more experience that year with guys like Teddy Purcell, Kyle Brodzinski, and which Sutter was it?
You mean Johnny Brodzinski?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then
Brett Sutter.
Yeah, Brett Sutter, Teddy Purcell. Kind of a bit more like you were saying, playing against guys who have played 500 NHL games. Kind of like Teddy Purcell must have been really cool.
Yeah, so he was on the Kings for the first, I don't remember exactly what the number was, 20 or so games. And then he came down with us, and he was a really impressive player to watch play the game. That's somebody that can really do whatever he wants with the puck. He was a special player. But yeah, I mean, we did have experience, and we did have a good team. I know we lost the first round of that playoffs. We had a weird ending to the year in that playoff series, but we had a team easily is good enough to, if we got past that round, they were easily good enough to win it all.
Did you go up against a good team in the first round?
We played the San Diego Gulls, Anaheim's team, but we had the first round is a 5-game series. We had a really...
Well, you took it all the way then.
Yeah, we had a really weird Game 5 goalie situation where we had, a hurt goalie that might have been able to play, but we had a reliable backup, so the backup play got hurt in warm-ups. So we had our third goalie that was, what I was doing the year before that, who was called up to join us for the playoff in the end of the season. So he had to start while we were waiting for our team doctor to help out our originally hurt goalie who was stuck in traffic for a little bit. Yeah, and so then our starting goalie came in like 15 minutes into the game, and we were already down 3-0, and it was a little chaotic. We clawed our way back in that game, but yeah, that first 10 or so minutes took us right out of it.
And you played 61 games in the regular season that year.
Mm-hmm.
Were you like I'm a professional hockey player? Does that really like hit you when you play that many games?
Yeah, yeah.
Because I imagine at that point you're trying to earn a two-way deal for the next season, kind of thing.
I was, yeah.
'Cause you're like you said before, you're always going to have your eye on the next.
Yeah, I did. My first year went really well. I was really proud of the way my first year went. Yeah, and I was. I mean, the first, guess 20 or so games. I was in and out of the lineup. And I played my way into a consistent spot. And once I realized that I was the only one that was going to take myself out of the lineup. Once I realized that, then I started to feel like, all right, this is where I belong, this is where I'm pro. And then as soon as I solidified myself in the lineup, my thought was, all right, let's help this team, let's do good, let's earn a two-away deal for sure.
Then you say you re-signed with Ontario for the third season. You must have.
For my second full season. Yeah, for my second full season.
Yeah, so you must have really enjoyed the organization to stay with them.
Yeah. And I had a good relationship with them. During my first year too, there was conversations with the organization where a two-way was potential and hopeful.
Did you go to any of the NHL preseason?
I did play some preseason. Yeah, I played a preseason game every year. And so my first year I played.
Did you play in Staples then?
Yeah, I did.
That must have been awesome.
Yeah, that was cool. That was my last year I played in Staples. My first year I played in Anaheim.
Oh, the Honda Center.
Yeah, I got to play against Ryan Miller, which was kind of
cool. Wow.
Yeah, it was kind of cool. Second year I got to play the first ever hockey game in Vegas.
Oh, that's
So that was really cool because there was 16 or 17,000 fans. It wasn't completely sold out, but it felt sold out.
But they still went all out on the presentation.
They did. Yeah, it was cool. I was happy to be a part of that one. And then my last year was a home game at Staples against against Vegas. Yeah, we played Vegas again. I got to play them against.
Yeah.
But yeah, those are obviously memories that I'll take with me too. Hit the post on a breakaway on my third preseason game against Vegas at home.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Those that stick with you, aren't they?
Yeah, it did. I took the shot. I saw I had the goalie beat, and then all of a sudden I just heard post, and I was oh god.
You can tell the difference between one that hits the post and goes in, can't you? The noise is different than posting it out. As soon as it makes the noise, you know which way it's gone.
Yeah.
Let's say in that second full year in Ontario, you're playing with a guy like Matt Moulson.
Yep.
Who's a goal scorer
machine.
Phenom.
Yep.
He just doesn't.
And he did it in Ontario too. Yeah.
And then you're also playing with like younger players like Fantenberg and
Oscar Fantenberg. Yeah.
Kevin Gravel.
Yeah,
they were pretty much prospects for the Kings, weren't they?
Yeah. Gravs was with me my first year too. He was with me, my first 2.5 years with Ontario, if you want to call that first one a half year. He was a heavy prospect for them. Called up and down all the time. At one point solidified himself with the Kings. Was up for pretty much good. He came down for our playoffs, but he was up there. Didn't play maybe as much as he wanted to with the Kings, but he was on the team. And the same thing with Fantenberg. He played some games with us, but there was at one point where he got called up and didn't look back.
You also got to play one of the Subban brothers as well, George.
Yeah, George.
Is he as much of a character as his brother?
Yeah.
It's in their DNA.
Yeah, no, he's a target. He's a great guy. He's super, super friendly. But like you said, he's a character. You know where he is in the locker room all the time. Let's just say that. But no, you need that.
Oh yeah,
you
need
that.
You
need that on the team, and he was a fun player to play with.
And then you go on another short playoff run that year, 4 games. So you ran it close again because you say it's best of 5.
Yeah, we played Texas, and we had another team that year too that was easily good enough to win it all. Texas went on to lose in the finals that year. So it wasn't like we lost to a team that might not have been the best. But yeah, we had a team that year that was pretty legit. We lost a depth center towards the end of the year, which kind of hurt a little bit, but we still had enough pieces in place to make a run at it, and it was a little unfortunate. I mean, I guess we talked about playoff wise earlier.
Yeah.
It goes to show
how intense it is.
I mean, we were talking about Peter Budaj. It was interesting. My first year, or when I first joined the team, our team beat San Jose in the first round, and we got past it, and we're, the coach is telling us good job and everything after the game, and Boots tells the team, he's like, yeah, like, this is, it's special. Like, you guys got to realize, don't take this for granted. Like, let's not be satisfied. That was Peter Budaj's first ever playoff series win.
Oh, wow.
That year. And, that's a, 15, 16-year pro.
Yeah.
So to talk about how rare it is, to win something, there's one of the best in the business that, hadn't won a series at all until he's 30, I don't know how old he was at the time, but 34, 35 years old.
And then everyone else sees how much it means to him to have got through it.
Exactly. And, it shows you how rare it is to be in a position where you can move forward in playoffs and how much effort needs to be put forth to it.
Because sometimes you need that realization of that guy who's been through it all. Because hockey is it's such a game, an imperfect game.
Yeah.
That sometimes you have to play perfectly to win.
Yeah.
And you have to go through so much failure with it because something bobbling over a stick. It's just
so much failure.
So much stuff that's not in your control.
No.
So you have to be so mentally strong to persevere, especially like you say, for 15 years to never win a playoff series.
Yeah. It's a very, very stressful sport. Just as in any sport.
It looks easy from up top.
Well, it's not. I can assure you that. No, but that's why you see, anybody in the NHL. I guess we'll use the NHL as an example. But you see anybody win a Stanley Cup in the NHL, their contracts shoot up like that.
Yeah.
Whether they're with the team that they won it with or they move on to another team and they're signing a big deal. It's because there's value in being a champion. So, I guess like we talked about earlier, they know what it takes, and so they know. To your point, maybe mentally, they know when things are maybe spiraling out of control, and they can help put things back on the right track, or in play, like how the effort that needs to be put forth to win a game. They're gonna lead by example, and there's value in being a champion, for sure.
Yeah, and then you come back for a final year in Ontario.
Mm-hmm.
Once again, you get the A put on your sweater.
Yeah.
Is that the same situation? Coach calls you when you've been here.
Yeah.
This is your third year now.
Yeah. Yeah. It was my third year. Another special moment in my career. Obviously, Coach called. We had a leadership group. So we had about 7 or 8 guys that have kind of been with the team for a little bit, and the newer guys, older guys that we've been maybe leaders in the past and with their other organizations, stuff like that. That was our group, and so he brought us in and he told us that Brett Sutter was our captain, as it should be. One of the best captains I've ever had, easily.
What made him stand out?
Just the guy, just being who he is. He's so committed to the game, but at the same time, he's a guy's guy. He gets it, everything like that. He had a great relationship with our coach, and to a point. That's a underrated thing about a captain is the relationship with the coach, because you have to be able to have the players back when you talk with the coach, because a lot of times people might confuse it with just being, the captain is just going to portray whatever the coach wants, but which is true. That's your job. Obviously the coach is the coach, so you have to respect that, but you have to have the voice to kind of be able to talk with the coach, be honest with the coach, and tell him like, hey, this is what we're thinking, because we're professional hockey players. We're all smart in a sense, and
you know what you're doing.
Exactly. So and Wally's great with that. He knows that we all know what we're doing, kind of stuff like that, and he's very open to hearing us out. But I was just talking about a captain in general, just being, and that's something that Brett did really well, is that he was able to be a leader for the guys. And that was probably the first time I saw a captain be so for the guys, and the respect that you give a guy like that because he's looking out for his team, as well as the same time looking out for the coach. And so he had that perfect balance, and that was one thing that I noticed about him for sure. But that moment, getting the A was obviously special. It brought us in, told us. And so it was Brett was the captain, and me and Matt Molson were wearing the A's.
That's in pretty good company there, then.
Yeah, no, it was cool because you have conversations with Brett Sutter and Matt Molson, who are obviously, 5 or 6 years older than I am, who have been around, and Brett's been in and out of the NHL as well, and obviously Matt's had his career in the NHL. So when you have conversations with them, so the three of us talking about our team and what needs to happen and all that kind of stuff. To hear it come from them, what they need to say, and based on what they've experienced, their captains, stuff like that. Like, I mean, Matt Molson, if not his best friend, one of his best friends is John Tavares. So
Not a bad guy to lean on.
Yeah, exactly. So like he's talking about how he is as a leader and what he preaches to his team, and Matt Molson's taking that and bringing it to our team. And I'm in the room hearing these stories, and
just pinch yourself.
I'm learning from the best, right? So it was cool to be a part of that leadership group.
I'd say, you obviously enjoyed all your time in Ontario. As you get into that third full season, is that when you started to get a bit, as you said, when you were brought in, you said you were being cast in a role in the AHL. With your third, fourth line defensive forward, killing penalties and stuff. But were you ever getting frustrated with the role you were in out there? Because obviously, we joked about the other day where Tim described you as an animal in a cage kind of thing.
No, I see. Yeah, I mean, I was. My first year happy to do the role. Like we kind of talked about, my first year went really well, and I thought that was kind of that summer of contract negotiations is when I thought maybe things could start looking even better for me. So it was frustrating not to get that 2-way contract. I was happy with Ontario and the way they were treating me, and I was able to, get a good salary to make me happy to come back, obviously too. But then, after I didn't get that contract, it started to change. I played really good hockey that second year, and I'm proud of the way I played. I might not have put up the most points that year, obviously based on the numbers too. Like it didn't point-wise wasn't there, but I don't think those numbers at all depicted the way I played.
But they're just numbers on a sheet.
Exactly.
It doesn't show how many. This doesn't show like puck battles won.
Yeah, stuff like that. Yeah. And and as the year kept going on, it wasn't. My head coach can only do so much too. He's going to coach to win the game, and he's going to play who he wants to play. But I can't play on the power play over their second round draft pick, stuff like that.
That's the conversation I had with Kevin when he was talking about like if you get called up, you're not going to get a chance because other people's jobs are on the line on draft picks they've made.
Yeah.
So unless people get hurt, you're never going to get that spot.
Yeah. So
other people are too invested in it.
Yeah. So that's when it started to become frustrating because then I wasn't one of those guys. So my role wasn't changing. Obviously, if I went on a tear, then things were going to change. But I don't think I was ever played in a role that
put in the position to succeed.
I don't think I really could. I could have playing successful in my role. Still wouldn't really. Playing successful in my role was really in my first year, and it didn't get me to what I wanted, and so it started to get frustrating. But I was also happy to do it because I was playing good hockey, but I was also playing at that level.
And you're at a place you enjoy playing.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. And I was with a great team. I love my coach there. One of the best coaches I've ever had.
Who was the coach?
Mike Stothers. One of the most respectable human beings you'll meet. So I was happy to be there, and I was happy to play my role because also, like we talked about, I was on some good teams too. And, and I realized too that we had, championship caliber talent. So I was happy to be a part of it. But yeah, I mean, bigger picture, I always thought I had more to give, and it was kind of frustrating to not, get that opportunity. But, these draft picks earn the right to get drafted and stuff like that. So, I can't sit here and, knock on them too bad because, they're talented.
Yeah.
So, give them a shot.
It's like you mentioned, I think you mentioned in an interview we did before where here you've got the bit more of the freedom, whereas if you tried something that didn't come off over there, you'd end up sat on the bench for 5-10 minutes.
Yeah,
being told to think about what you've done.
Oh yeah, no, you don't have the role that I was playing. You don't have a long leash. You miss the net, you're getting yelled. You're getting told you missed the net. So the next time you're going down and shooting, you're making sure you don't miss the net. So you don't really have the best players in the world would get yelled at for missing the net, but then they still have the confidence to go down and do that. And it's that's why they're the best players in the world. And so it's tough because then you're gripping the stick when you walk down and you're trying to shoot. If you lose a puck battle on the blue line, you're getting yelled at because that's your job. No, that can't happen. You're supposed to get that out. And so as far as the skill players and the better players and the guys that have more freedom, it didn't work that time. I trust them. They'll get it out the next. They'll figure it out. I didn't have that freedom there, so it is tough because then you don't have as much confidence to go out and try to play the way you think, and then you start thinking, okay, well, I'm on this team to win battles, get the puck out, get the puck deep, get to the net and stuff like that. So, for lack of a better term, you start playing a little bit robotic. And your creativity isn't quite there. And so, that's, it's also on me for sure. I'm not going to say it's not, I could have, if I played better, I would have changed my role. But, it was definitely a factor, and, you get stuck in that role, and it's hard to get out of it for sure.
I think you dropped the gloves quite a few times in Ontario as well.
I did, yeah.
Because when we signed you, we were Googling your name, and goals don't come up on YouTube, but fights do.
Yeah.
So is that part of the role that you just embraced, that's part of what I have to do?
Well, yeah. I mean...
Because as Tim always says, that's not an easy thing to do, drop the gloves.
No, it's not. I mean, if we're being honest, it's scary. It obviously is.
Especially with all the knowledge people have today as well.
For sure. Yeah, how many fights I think it was 4 my first year, 1 my second, and then 5 last year, something like that. So I guess 10 fights. I mean, some of them are heat of the moment. Some of them are protecting players. Some of them protecting myself. But yeah, I was playing aggressive. I was playing physical. I was, I wouldn't say I go out there and I have the most hits on the ice, but I'm going to battle in front of the net. I'm going to battle in the corners. I'm going to battle, and stuff like that happens. And I'm not the toughest guy in the world, and so I'm not looking to go fight the toughest guys in the world. But if I match up with someone at my level of toughness, I always thought I was a pretty good fighter too. So I knew I could take care of myself, and it happened. Yeah. And so it's part of it.
Yeah. So it's just to take care of yourself. It's protect yourself while you're doing it as well. There's a right way to do it, isn't there? Kind of.
Oh, there is. Yeah.
You can't just go gung ho straight in.
No, it's a lot more technical than people think. I mean, nowadays it's number one priority when you turn pro, if you're somewhat of a physical player, is just learn how to grab, just learn how to hold on. There's going to be a moment where, obviously the game's changing and it's not as big of a part of it as it used to be. But when I was growing up, when I was turning pro, when I was playing in the Green Bay, quite a bit of fights too. Those were times where it was a part of it. And so, I mean, there was moments where guys would grab me and, they would indicate that we're about to fight. So you have to know how to, grab on, because if you get caught off guard, you might be eating 3 or 4 punches in the head. And obviously, it just takes one to make it a scary moment.
And it adds a level of respect to guys like Lepi, the way he
Oh
plays,
my God.
when he went
It's
with,
the hardest,
with Matt Pellich in this spring.
Yeah.
They're two monsters going.
The hardest job in sport. I mean, aside from boxing and UFC fighting and all that kind of stuff, I mean, I'm a strong believer that people that are able to fight and people that are able to, wouldn't say make a career out of it, but have it be a big part of their career. It's the hardest job in all of sports, I think, because, Lepi wants to play hockey. He knows it's a part of it, but he wants to play hockey. So the fact that he's willing to do that, I mean, like you said, it's like I said, it's scary. It's not something you want to do.
No.
And so to be able to accept the fact that that's a part of what you do and how you play, it's, all the respect in the world.
Yeah, it was like all the documentaries you get like on Netflix and things where obviously Brian McGrattan played here, but then he's a major focusing on a documentary on Netflix. I think it's on Netflix. Or Ice Guardians. Or
Ice Guardians, where
it's just like you just watch it and it's just like, wow, what those guys put themselves through.
I know. I mean, I've heard stories of guys know that they're going to fight the next day before the game even happens, and they're not sleeping obviously that night. And and unfortunately, we might have lost a couple great hockey legends to it too. It's mentally it's tough to deal with, for sure. So there's massive respect in that regard
to everyone who does it.
Everybody. I mean, it could be the most hated team our most hated team in the world, or my hope, whoever it is, but the respect's there for sure.
Well, you see that when it's that thing is when you see them have a fight and then 10 seconds later they're patting each other on the back saying,
well, they know it too.
Yeah,
absolutely, they know it too. Words can't describe how tough they are, both physically and mentally. Those kind of players are for sure.
No, I don't have a really good segue into what I want to talk about next.
It's all good. Let's get there.
I got deep.
It's a deep topic.
Yeah,
it's impressive. So.
Yeah. So that last season in Ontario comes to a close. Are you looking to re-sign there, or were you already looking elsewhere?
I was looking to re-sign there. We were talking. There was some other talks with some other teams in the league too.
With the AHL.
With the AHL, yeah.
Were you looking for maybe a two-way?
I didn't. It wasn't happening after I thought after my first year there was a chance. I had a good. Dean Lombardi was the GM. The GM of the Kings my first year, and he got fired that summer, and Rob Blake took over. And I strongly think that if Dean Lombardi was there that next season, that things would have worked out for me. I wouldn't say I was making the Kings, but
you'd have a chance.
I think I might have at least had a chance if I got off to a hot start my second year. But after that, no, that wasn't really in the cards for me. I have opinions on that, obviously, but because, like you said, I think people were kind of mesmerized by my numbers instead of the play. So that was unfortunate. But, I don't think it was – the two-way wasn't in the cards after my first year.
So when did Europe become an option then?
I was talking with AHL teams, and we had some interest, and they were kind of describing my role for their team and what they wanted, and it was kind of like I was past it. I wanted to further my career, and it wasn't going to happen in the AHL. So I wanted to explore Europe options. And
so was the coast never a thought in your mind?
So
obviously you hear
I wouldn't say it like that, because
you hear some horror stories about things in the coast.
Sure. But I wouldn't say that it was never in my mind, because I do believe that if I went to the coast, that I would have been able to play my way back into the AHL. But again, I would have played my way back into the AHL into the same role that I was at, and so I wanted to play to my ability, and I thought Europe would showcase that. And so once we started kind of seeing that the same role was available for me in the AHL, then is when we took the Europe route, and then we started talking to some teams, and that's when Deuce and Wally got in touch with me, and everything that they were saying was everything I was looking for. So
were you aware of like the Elite League before they got in touch with you?
I've heard about it. I wasn't really too aware of it.
Because this league,
I knew about it, I should say.
Because this league at one point had a reputation about this is where guys come and play out their last year,
Yeah,
kind of thing.
Yeah. Unfortunately, back in the States, it might not have had the best reputation.
We know. We hear all this.
Okay. Yeah.
We ask guys whenever they come in.
Sure. Yeah. No. It's unfortunate. It didn't have the best. It's getting significantly better, and like this year, the reputation's there. You know, I'm talking, 5, 6, 7 years ago, that range might not have had the best reputation.
Like last year, we had Chris Stewart here in Nottingham.
Yeah.
He hated, as he said to many people, he hated the game when he came here. Came back here, fell in love with it. Worked out all summer, got his contract with Philadelphia.
For sure.
So that puts a place on the. He went there and
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. No, and it's. And nowadays too, it's like I said, it's got the reputation, and it's still growing. The reputation's still growing. And on top of that, you really have to play in this league to realize that it's actually a really good league, and there's really good players in this league. I mean, there's NHL experience all over this league too.
You got even a team like Dundee. They've got that Eagles Carnes, who's played in the KHL.
Yeah.
So it's everywhere.
It's. I mean, we were playing Cardiff, like Lingley, the KHL for what? Yeah. How many years? 6 or 7 years, something like that. But yeah, it's growing, and it's. I did not know really anything about the league. I heard the stereotype that it's where the fighters go, but obviously I knew that was an old reputation, and so. Yeah, I mean, once I started talking with Wally and Deuce, like I said, they were saying all the right things. So,
did you reach out to anyone about it?
Yeah, I had a buddy that played in Coventry last year. His name's Chris Joyo.
Oh, okay.
He and I were really, really good friends growing up, and we still keep in touch. So I reached out to him, and I was asking him about his experience. I knew I wasn't really worried about what the hockey was like. I mean, obviously I was, but that wasn't my focus. My focus is Europe. Am I gonna, hate my life by going to Europe or not? And he reassured that it'd be everything that I was looking for. And then he had great things to say about Nottingham because, I mean,
when they come in here.
It's like we don't have to lie. Obviously, Nottingham is the best, organization in this league. And so, he said you'll love it. And so I knew, talking with Wally and Deuce, what the hockey was going to be like and stuff like that. And it just, I also talked a little bit with Evan Mosey too.
Okay.
I know him a little bit through Chicago area.
Oh, because he played for Rockford for
and
a while.
He's come to Chicago to train a little bit too every now and then. And so, he loved Nottingham. Nothing but good things to say. So I felt comfortable coming here for sure.
Because Evan was one of those guys. He kind of got plucked out of he played for a Belgian team in the Dutch league.
Yeah.
He got plucked out, brought here by Corey Nielsen, who was the coach there.
Yeah.
And then he just exploded into everything. Now he's one of. Unfortunately, he's injured. He's one of the top guys at Cardiff now.
No, he could skate. That's always something that separated himself. So.
He was one of the fastest players I've ever seen.
Yeah.
So what was it that made you finally made the jump then to sign for Nottingham? Because I know Tim has a really good relationship with the coach at Notre Dame.
Yeah.
So there was that connection.
Yeah, and Jeff Jackson was reaching out to me, telling me about how he trusts Wally, how he trusts the way Wally would help me. And so, obviously, too, like, I didn't know Wally personally, but, based on conversations, you start to build that reputation or that relationship, But I did know my coach at Notre Dame, and I did trust him. So, if
he vouched for him.
Yeah, if he's vouching for him, I know, it's legit. I mean, that was, like I said, when I realized that the AHL was kind of I went topped off and whatever, and I wanted to go to Europe, talking with my agent, talking with Jeff Jackson, talking with Deuce Wally, it just seemed like my game would shine here. And then I think what really solidified it was Wally and Deuce's tone throughout all of our conversations was championship. And I think that was an underrated part, maybe not something that they realized that they were doing, but yeah, I mean, come here, obviously you'll play and you'll get back to loving the game and you'll get back to playing the way you want to play and stuff, and on top of it, we got the team to win championships. And so, like we said, we talked about how much fun winning championships was, and it's been in my freshman year of college since I've been a part of something like that. So I'm trying to get back to it.
And speaking about winning championships, me and you have spoken in interviews ad nauseum about digging ourselves out of a hole that we put ourselves in.
Yeah.
We're not out of the hole now, but we're in the thick of everything now.
Well, if you look at our schedule, we have the schedule for the rest of the year where if we're in control. I think we're in more control than Cardiff. We're in more control than Sheffield.
Because you take out that September, we are the form team.
Oh, for sure.
Everywhere.
That's obvious too. I think every team knows that too. Like they used to might think, Nottingham, we're playing Nottingham, whatever, like it's a win. Now you're playing Nottingham, okay, you're playing a championship type game. And I think that's obvious. You can just tell by the crowds on all these buildings. You can tell by the energy that the games are played at and stuff like that. But yeah, like I was saying, you look at who we play the rest of the season. Like you're playing Cardiff 3 more times. You're playing Sheffield
twice here as well.
Yeah, we play Sheffield 2 or 3 more times.
2 more times.
2 more times. So you got Sheffield 2 more times. You got Belfast 3 more times. I mean, you win your games. I mean, obviously, you win your games, you win the league, and we're in control. And Sheffield is like we were in Denmark. They need a little puck luck. They need something to happen. Cardiff needs a little something to happen. They both need us
to do them a favor.
But we're rolling. We know the position we're in, so we do our job. We're in.
And that's one of the things about this team. Like other places may have written Nottingham off, but within this locker room, there was always talk about. It was always, we're well aware of where we are in the standings. It's always we need to dig ourselves out of this hole. This team never thought they were out of this.
No,
there was always that confidence in the room, because even though when it was like, I think it was 10 losses out of 11 games or something.
It was crazy.
It was like heads. What was notable to me when you go down after a game is heads weren't dropping. Everyone's chin was up, kind of thing.
Yeah, it was the right frustration. Everybody was frustrated, obviously, and we all had a right to be, because losing's not fun, and we had a better team than what we were playing like. But it was the right frustration. It was okay. What do we do now? Like, okay, that didn't work. What do we do now? What do we do now? And I mean, we knew the talent that was in our locker room. I think at one point the team had a good conversation after we lost a Challenge Cup game to Manchester, where I kind of tried to express my opinions with the team too. It's like, sure, we know, and I give props to Matheson. He made a good point too. We tried to say, we know we got talent, but enough's enough. Like we're not doing anything. So it's like, the effort's got to change. It's stop relying on, one day it'll work. Like now it's time to go to work. Now it's time. Things need to change. And so then once things started to change, then we went back to, okay, this team's got the talent. This team's got we can do it. So then you get our confidence back, and then we realize, okay, we got all the pieces to the puzzle. So now we just got to play like it, and we are playing like it. So keep it up. This is what's working. Let's do it.
Well, it's like you said that you had the conversation. You also had the one where we did the one in the corridor where you kind of like vented your frustrations. Yeah. I think, and that was one of the things that I think the fans needed at that point, is that it's like accountability in the room kind of thing. You kind of like just let loose on everything you were feeling in that one.
No,
I think I asked you one question. I think that was the only one I asked the whole time. And you went for 3 minutes.
Oh yeah. I hear about that interview all the time.
From the guys. Or from...
No, just everybody has talked to me about it. But yeah, I mean,
because sometimes you have to come out and say.
Well, that was the thing. It was like we said. We kept talking about, this team's like, we got talent. This team's good. Well, yeah, we do, but we lost 10 games out of 11. So talent's not the problem. Like, I mean, you think you look at 8 of those games. We're up 3-1 or 2-1 or whatever it is. I don't know.
Going into the third
period, and then we lose. And so why I was frustrated was I thought the team was just accepting that things aren't going our way, and then when we would play like a decent period or we'd play a decent game, we were happy that, okay, things are going well. But in reality, the score is still 2-2. In reality, we just lost the game. We had the talent, like we kept talking about, but it wasn't going to happen until the team realized, okay, it's not going to change unless we change it, And so I give props to Wally too. We stopped worrying about any other opponent that we were playing. It was, okay, we need to work on this. This is what we do. We need to work on it. This is what we do for this. This is what we need to work on. And we got better with what we do as a team instead of worrying about what other teams do. And there was more urgency. And like we talked about accountability, every single person went home. Like, you have to think that this is what they did. They went home and they realized what they could do better, what they need to do better for this team. And then every single person, what was that? That was, we played a Wednesday game against Manchester is when we had that interview. And we had a game Saturday against Fife. And, everybody came ready to play, ready for a change against Fife. And it worked out. And we haven't looked back since.
You got that late power play. You got a goal with 40 seconds left, and you could just feel like it was just the relief in the stands, in the team. Yeah. Afterwards, it was just.
It's no different than Dylan Malmquist scoring his first goal of the year. It's no different than Brett Ballmer scoring his first goal of the year.
It was the home games that seemed to be the issue at the start.
Yeah,
the road seemed to be okay, but it's just the home games were. I remember telling to Tim, and Tim was like, "I think they're just." They're holding their sticks too tight.
Well, I think what the big difference is
so we didn't play at home a lot of the start.
Well, you go on the road, you play you play a road game is what everybody says. Well, your road game is what you do well, and then you come at home, and then now you're in control. So now you can start thinking like, oh, okay, we can start doing this because they do this and stuff like that. And so when we were struggling, we weren't really focusing both individually as a team what we could bring to this team, what this team could do so well at, and you see that at home, because then you start thinking about, there's no, we didn't need to change anything. We needed to worry about us, and that's what we started doing. And you'll see that through success on the road, because that's what you worry about on the road. You worry about what you do. At home, and that's just the nature of the sport.
Yeah.
Like at home, now you're in control. Now you might worry about other teams, but we couldn't do that. We needed to figure out what we needed to do right. And once I wouldn't say perfected, but once we changed, once we got better at what we do, and everybody bought into what we do, that's when we started seeing change in this season.
So when you made the deal with Wally and Douche, you come to Nottingham, you get here. What were your first impressions of the building? Because that's
Green Bay. Green Bay, yeah. I thought this was the Nottingham Panthers version of Green Bay, and I was excited. Locker rooms really similar, rinks really similar.
Goody takes good care of that locker room.
Yeah. Oh, Goody's the man. Goody's the man. But
everyone always says that. They know where all the good stuff comes from. You gotta be nice to Goody.
Yeah, exactly. You always be nice to the equipment manager. But yeah, that was my first impressions, was Green Bay, and and Green Bay is the organization in the USHL,
Okay.
in my opinion, too. I mean, other people might argue that, but they can't argue that it's at least one of the top. And so, yeah, that was – Nottingham had the Green Bay feel. The Panthers had a Green Bay feel to it. And so I felt at ease right off the bat. And obviously everybody was – I mean, Goody was one of the first people you meet when you come here, and, that's a good first impression, too, with him.
I think the first question I asked you was, how do you pronounce your surname? That was the first one I asked you.
That's when my wife. That was the first thing my wife ever said to me. She was like, "Do you pronounce it Herr or Her?" That was the first word she ever told me. So there you go.
I'm in good company then.
Yeah, exactly.
So, do you remember the first preseason game against Cardiff?
Yeah.
What do you remember about that? You get to see the fans for the first time.
Yeah.
You get to experience.
Experience-wise, cool. Hockey-wise, different. I remember I came off the game just being like, all I did was just skate around. I didn't do a single thing that game. I just skated around. But yeah, I mean, we had the fans were awesome. I don't think that game in particular was fan-wise anything really crazy.
It was that one where John scored with like 18 seconds left. Adam was trying to pass to the guy in the middle of the ice. He missed it, and it somehow ended up with John on a breakaway.
Yeah, so it was cool first game to be a part of. But no, fan-wise, that first game against Sheffield, that was
the home one,
because that wasn't too long after.
No.
That was cool. And that's when you really saw what this crowd was capable, and the fans are capable of. Before, the fans and like playing Cardiff, playing Coventry, they're no different than wherever I played.
Because you got to experience the Sheffield thing on the road first.
Yeah, that too. That
was that game that went really strange after 50 minutes. That was bizarre. But you got to experience that rivalry from both ends very quickly. But to experience on the road first and then come back here, then you can really see what it means to both sides.
Yeah, and it was cool because you keep hearing about how crazy these fans are, especially Sheffield fans too. Like you hear how crazy they are as well. And then we play Cardiff, and we play Coventry, and I'm like, I mean, obviously they're a great crowd and stuff, and they're gonna be fun to play in, but they're no different than I saw. And then all of a sudden Sheffield hit, and it was like, whoa, okay, this is pretty cool.
You're looking around, there's not a spare seat.
Yeah, no, both that weekend. Both at Sheffield and at home are two games that I'll remember forever, for sure.
And then it took Tim and Yee a while to sort out the leadership of this team. Like everyone had a stretch where they were wearing the A's and they were wearing the things. What do you remember about that little period of time? Because I know this all went to a team vote in the end, didn't it?
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, you look at our team and
there's just leaders everywhere.
Yeah, I was gonna say everybody's capable of leading this team. Like I don't do much with this team, especially now. I don't. I guess we'll get to that part, but as far as those weeks where everyone's kind of interchanging, I mean, everybody's got something to bring to this table. We got a guy like Matheson. How many years of pro has he played? Johnny Rowe. I mean, they're teens. Conley, Desi. Like they're all 10 to 15 years of pro.
They'll play the highest level in Europe.
Exactly. Like they all have something to bring to this table. And now even too, at the time they weren't there, but Hansen and Talbot, like those are, everybody's got something to bring. So yeah, I mean, why not, and like, just because we were all wearing a specific, like maybe like, cause I was in there too, maybe just because I was wearing an A, it didn't make me the leader on the team. It didn't make them, all they did was just wear the actual letter for the games and stuff. Nobody acted like, because I'm wearing the A this week, I'm the leader this week. And it's just everybody was just in their natural habitat. Like whatever you could bring to the table, bring it and stuff. And so I actually think it worked out the way it did because, yeah, I mean, everybody, like I've said, I guess now 5 or 6 times, like everyone's got something to bring to the table. So, there's no need to, right off the bat, just, shut somebody up because they're not, wearing a letter.
I was like, when you come into this locker room, you meet guys like Robert Lakovic, Ollie Petric, who've been here for. I mean,
exactly.
It's hard to think, oh, they're still 24 kind of thing.
Yeah, and those guys know stuff that we. Yeah, they know stuff that.
And even a guy like Guy Lepin, he's here his second year this time, but it's his 5th year overall in this. And Guy's been here and won everything.
Yeah, like they know stuff that we don't, and it's important to recognize that. Lacko being here for. I know he had his testimonial, and what they say that's 10 years, but he's been here, 13?
10 full-time.
Yeah, something like that. So he's been here 13 years. You're telling me he doesn't have anything to say about what works and what doesn't work? So why, be like, oh, these are our leaders, so this is what we're revolving around. And then, it might limit Lacko from saying something just because he was not recognized or – it's appreciated. It's like every single top to bottom on this team, every single person knows something that the other person doesn't. So you need to express that.
Yeah. Obviously, the GB made noise in the summer with the World Championship points, but have you been surprised at the level of the British players?
Oh yeah,
because Ollie.
Oh yeah,
and people like him.
Well, you don't being in the States, you would be okay. Like, oh, that Great Britain team. You think of U.S., Canada, Finland, Sweden, Russia, like those are and obviously I mean, not to lie, those are still the top teams, obviously, but I mean, you come over here and you play I'm playing alongside guys that are playing on that Great Britain team that are better than the players that I'm playing with over in the States and stuff like that. So it's like that kind of goes to say, or it goes to show you what I was saying earlier about you have to play in this league to realize how good this league is. Well, you have to see those players play in order to realize what they can do, And, you might say, oh, somebody in the U.S. might have a better skill set, but you still got to play the game. And you're like, obviously these guys have great skill sets. I'm not saying that they're, a step behind the players in the States, but it's just – that once you're in the game, they adapt just like everybody else adapts. And I mean, really impressed with the way they play.
Well, that's one thing that's always been the thing for years, is that the GB players have had the work rate, but not perhaps the skill to go with it. But now it's starting to catch up a little bit. Especially when you have guys like Pellini, who he did train here. It may not sound like he's a Brit when he talked, and I tried to make him choose a side when he came on this, and he wouldn't do it. But when you have guys like him coming in, it adds a different level to everything, doesn't it? Guys like Mosey, who qualified to play.
Yeah, and I know that Conley on Sheffield.
Yeah.
Too, and obviously being one of the top point guys in the league.
Well, even Jackson.
Yeah, Jackson. But it's just there's talent all around this league from the GB side of it, and they're all important players to all these teams. And so, I mean, it's hard to say why. It's hard to say why can you justify saying a guy from the U.S. is better than a guy from GB or a guy from Canada is better than GB just because of where they're from? You can't do that, because once you see these guys play, they adapt to a game just like there's no saying what a guy from the U.S. will do in this league. Once the game starts playing, you still have to play the game just like they do. So, they might figure something out that you can't.
Yeah, that's one of the best parts when you sign in players, is that all you've got to look at is sheets like this. This is all you've got as a reference point. You have no idea what's going to happen.
Exactly.
It's like he was there's no knock on him. He was a great player. It's Jens when he was here.
Yeah.
He's the 13th top point scorer in the Allsvenskan all time, and it just didn't happen for him here. You just don't know what's going to happen when you get to this league.
Well, I mean, like you line up his resume against any GB player on our team, and Jens has a really profound resume, and he's earned that, and he's a great player and stuff like that. And on paper, it might look like he's a better player than all the GB players in this team, but then he comes here and all the GB players outplay him. Well, it's because the GB, like everybody's got, like I said, everyone's got to adapt to the game. So why do you say Jens is a better player when those guys? Well, they just proved you that he's not.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, if the GB players go over and play in Sweden, it might be a different story. Yeah. But I mean, I don't want to just single out GB anybody, but we're specifically talking about the GB players. Yeah. But I mean, there's no need to say that they're not as good as they are, because they are as good as they are.
So you have the little period of time where everyone gets to go with the A's and stuff, and then it comes to that team vote, and then you get voted the captain. That's different to you being given the A's in the other places by the coaches. Did it feel different?
Yeah.
Does it feel? I'm not going to say it's more special, but is it
more earned?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When it's your peers who elect you.
You're more honored to receive it because that's who you play for. You know, like I mean, you ask any single person on this team, they play for our team. You know, we don't. We do play for the organization. We do play for the fans, but you know, we're playing for us, and that's what you do. We're the ones fighting every single day, and so, you know, I'm fighting with Ollie, Lacko, Pearls, Hans, all those guys, you know, and so when they are like, yeah, we like you as our leader, you know, we want you to be the captain of this team, and the team agrees upon that. Yeah, I mean, that's super special. It's a huge honor because, I mean, I trust those guys, you know, with my life right now. And, you know, and the fact that they have that trust in me too, like, it feels good. It's a good feeling because now it feels like there's a bigger picture. I'm a part of something bigger than me. And, you know, let's go to work. Let's do it.
Because as a first-year guy in this league, first year in Nottingham, this is one of the bigger, as you've said before, the bigger franchises in this league. That's a tremendous amount of pressure to put on a guy who's coming over here to, like, you know, expand his game even more kind of thing. And it's just a challenge you've just embraced, really.
Yeah.
I know hockey players hate talking about themselves, but
it's going really well, obviously. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I'm having a lot of fun, and
I mean, I printed this off when you got one game and no points. So
that last night.
This is how early I had this printed off. This is from September the 11th.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So one game, no points.
Okay.
You got 4 in the Challenge Cup though, so.
Oh yeah. So that was after the first game of the year.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's been everything I've hoped it for it to be. You know, I'm happy with obviously the way I'm playing. I'm happy to be a part of this organization. I'm happy to be a leader on this team. I'm happy to be playing in front of these fans, all that kind of stuff. Like everything, like we talked about Chris Stewart, where he said he found the love of the game again. Like, you know, I've always loved the game, but yeah, you find an even bigger love for it when you know, get put in this type of a role and succeed with it. It's surreal right now.
And then when you're in that kind of role, like and we spoke about the freedom that you've got now. You seem to be having the time of your life when you're out there at the minute.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, I'm playing hockey the way I always knew I could play hockey. So, you know, I don't want to. I was going to say, this is going to sound worse than it is, but I don't have to, you know, listen to anybody.
Yeah.
I obviously have to listen to people, and I'm going to play the way that Wally wants me to play.
But he trusts you to do you.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like when I go out in a game, like I don't need anybody telling me like, hey, you have to you have to do this, you have to do that. Like, it's nice to be in a position where Wally can be like, hey, you go do your thing, help this team kind of thing. And, you know, I know I can go out in a game and, you know, I can do my thing and I can play the way that I want to play hockey, and doing that kind of stuff is where you find the love for the game again, because you grow up. When you grow up playing hockey, you want to play hockey your way. You know, you don't want to listen to like people to tell you to.
Well, at the end of the game, it's a game, isn't it?
Exactly. We did it for fun. You know, like I mean, if you know, listen to every single person about you have to do this, you have to do this, you have to do this, well, then it's not that fun anymore. And that's why people, you know, might fall out of love with the game when you get put in a specific role, because, you know, they might not be telling you, hey, you can't do this, but in a sense they are.
Yeah, well, when I had Adam on here, he said the same thing about Sweden. They have like hockey camps as you grow up, and you learn to play one way.
Yeah.
And if you don't play that way, you cannot play it.
Exactly.
You cannot play here.
Exactly. So then it limits your freedom as a player. So then it limits your love for the game. And so, you know, when you're put in a position, I guess like I am right now, where I have the freedom to go out and play the way I do, you know, I don't have a reason not to love the game, you know, because I'm playing the game the way I want to play the game. And so I'm really grateful that Wally's able to, let me play that way. And yeah, like we said, it's a blast.
And do you think coming to because obviously when you're looking at Europe, there's places like the Austria where you go and play in the E-ball like Brian and Jason have. There's Germany and things. Do you think coming to a European country where English is the predominant language help you settle in
for sure
quicker and easier?
Oh, that was a factor too.
Oh, but when you were looking.
Yeah. Knowing that because you don't know what to expect when you come to Europe, and it wasn't just me too. I had my wife with me, so I got to look after her as well, and I got to make a career decision with her in mind. And so, coming to an English speaking country, and you knew the transition to. Obviously, there's going to be a culture shock no matter where you go in Europe, but you knew it wasn't going to be as culture shock because you can talk to people, you can figure it out, and stuff like that. So, that plays a part in it. Absolutely.
Right, now, you mentioned earlier that the games against Sheffield are the ones that will live with you forever. But now the dust has settled on it, I'm going to ask you about Boxing Day again. Because I remember I spoke to you after the game, when everyone wanted to speak to you after the game, and the emotions were all there. Has that one quite settled in yet? What actually happened in that game?
Yeah, that was surreal. What was it? It was 4 goals
in 10 minutes or something
total. 30 seconds of overtime, and my first goal was scored 9.5 minutes left.
Yeah,
so 10 minutes. That never happens. People score 4 goals in a game, but they don't do it in 10 minutes. So. But that, like I said, after the game too, though, I finished plays. I didn't. Yeah, it wasn't all me. It was. I could talk you through them. The Leppy getting the puck out in the first one. Obviously, I was happy with my shot on the 2-on-1. The second goal, a little puck luck with Hans, me and Hansen getting a 2-on-1 with the guy breaking a stick. Hansen making a great play on a 2-on-1. I had an empty net to shoot into.
I remember you saying after to Tim that you were surprised how much space you had to shoot into. For
I had the whole net. I thought I was going to have to catch and shoot and pick a corner. And then once I caught it, I had the net. So that only goes to show you, Hans froze that goalie. So he made a quick play, and that goalie didn't expect him to maybe make the play that he did. So, that me having an empty net shows you how good of a play Hansen made. Cool. I scored the game-tying goal. People might think, Sam scores again. That's awesome. Okay, we'll give Hansen the credit that he deserves because that was he was the reason why I scored.
What's that? The third one? There's all that traffic in front. You got Dylan. You got everyone.
Yeah, exactly. If Dylan's not there, that puck's not going in. If Khan's made a great pass, he threw a lot of deception on that pass too. He does that on the power play. He can find me there. He knows I'm there and he won't look at me. But I still know that he knows where I'm at, and so. He wasn't looking at me, and then he made the play, and Dylan's not there, so
it's like in overtime. Kevin freezes that puck and doesn't
makes the play exactly, and it's just all the little things, and it's like I was and obviously I had a lot of luck on that overtime goal. It wasn't my best shot, but I guess things were going my way, so it worked out. But all 4 of those goals were results of everybody doing their job, and I was just able to finish the plays. So, I was obviously very happy with, my performance in those 10 minutes. But, it was a team effort that I guess I was
the beneficiary.
I was the fortunate one to benefit from it all with the goals. But it was, guys doing their parts to get a win.
And another special experience this year has been the Continental Cup. Didn't come away with the goal like we wanted, like the width of a goal post away on Jake's breakaway.
Yeah.
But there's still some pretty special memories along the way in that game. I don't think you'll ever score a more dramatic empty net than you did against Krakow.
No, that was... Yeah, that's interesting because the way that tournament's set up, that's how it goes. First game against Denmark, really unfortunate. Obviously, Hans beats himself up for that. But, penalties were a problem that game.
Because the officiating's different out there.
Well, more than half of those I don't think anybody agreed with.
Well, there's one where you got tripped up and nothing.
Yeah.
And then 10 seconds later, you're in the box.
I didn't trip him either, so I don't know what happened there. But
Tim says that Finnish referee will haunt his dreams forever.
It was unfortunate. Some of the calls, a lot of the calls were really unfortunate. In my opinion, obviously they have their opinions, we have ours. But yeah, I didn't agree with a lot of them. But yeah, so Denmark, we, dug ourselves in a hole with a lot of penalties. So it wasn't like, when guys might joke with Hansen now that, he's the reason, but because he's open to that. But, I mean, that wasn't the reason why. We could have done a lot more with that game. Then Krakow, yeah, the empty net. Krakow had to do what they had to do.
50 for 3 points.
Yeah, they had to win in regulation, so they're going to pull their goalie. Obviously.
Did you know how much time you had left?
I did. Yeah, it was not 0.3 seconds. It was not.
It looked good on the match report.
Yeah,
that's all
exactly.
I'm saying.
No, I remember. I knew that when Hansen got the puck, we had about 6 seconds, so I knew even. I thought Hansen was going to shoot, and so. But I did know that even if Hans passed it to me, there was still there was still enough time where he could pass it to me. So I was just making sure I was ready. So yeah, and then once I scored, I do remember looking at the clock, and it was well over 1 second. It was like 1.6 or 7, something like that. But then yeah, it's kind of cool that they ran the clock down to 0.3. So that was fun because we knew it. Even without the goalie pull, we kept talking to the team was talking. We're like, yeah, we got to get this
3-0 down in that game.
Yeah. We put ourselves in a hole, fought back, and we had time to finish it in regulation. I mean, I think we scored our tying goal with 5 minutes left?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, something like that. We still have 4 or 5.
Is it Julian? Or did he score the first one? I can't remember. That whole weekend's a bit of a blur.
Oh, yeah, it was my. I remember I scored that one. Yeah,
yes.
Yeah. It was. So that I don't remember what the time was, but I do remember it was like around 4 or 5 minutes left. So we still had time to end it in regulation, plenty of time, and we kind of knew we had to. If we didn't do it in regulation, we needed a lot to happen from there on out in order to even have a chance. So. Guys were determined, and yeah, we got a bounce. I mean, I felt like we earned that bounce the way the first 2 games went, so we'll take it. We were taking it, and then yeah, we did what we had to do on Sunday. It didn't matter.
Yeah, so Sunday Uska, they won their game, but
yeah,
I know Tim said to everyone like before the game when they were eating meals that there's still fans out here who came to watch this.
Oh yeah,
and then that was another dramatic game where it was the last 2-minute winner from the stand from
Georgie, yeah. With a great celebration too. Can we talk about that?
Oh, where because I need to ask him, did he mean it or did he?
No, he didn't mean that. Come on. No, he was trying to go on one knee and sweep the ice, and then he toe picked and face planted.
The thing is, it's not on the cameras. They miss it.
No,
they miss.
Well, the pictures have it.
Because he goes away, so there's no footage of him actually.
That's funny.
But he's an excitable character, George.
Oh yeah.
The happiest guy in the world.
Oh, happiest guy in the world. And yeah, and it was so tough to watch him. Get hurt because of his love for this team, this game. And
well, I know they had to tie him up to keep him off the ice when he was injured.
We almost had to pay him to keep him stay off the ice. Even still, then I don't think he would have took it. No. But no, he's
even though he didn't win, even though he didn't win, that's still memories to take forever. The weekend away, the fans in the corner, the Sunday Uska fans with their
it was cool that they were friendly too. Like it was. I mean, I remember doing an interview there, and they were talking about the Panthers fans traveling, and what's so cool for me is like, like when I went in Green Bay, the fans really, they didn't in the USHL, they didn't really travel. Like, I mean, it's USHL hockey, so I mean, obviously some did, but you don't really see it, and they shouldn't. We're 17-year-old kids, like, come on. And then in college, you see the fans travel. And obviously Notre Dame has a, fan base all over the U.S. But, yeah, so, like, when we go, over a state or two or, we go all the way out to Boston or whatever, you see a lot of Notre Dame fans. So then you start to see fans travel. You don't see fans traveling to a different country for a game. So that was something, that was a first for me to see that. Obviously, I haven't played in a different country, but I didn't expect it the first time in Denmark. So it was cool. And then obviously when they came back, they're having a good time. They're enjoying it, and so.
Were you aware of the conga line that was going off?
Oh yeah, we saw it. Yeah, we saw it. We saw it. Well, they had it was what they had. At one point, did they wrap around the whole ring?
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So it was cool. I mean, yeah, it was I remember it was a boring point of the game, and all of a sudden the fans are going crazy. We're like, what the hell is going on? And you see the conga line going.
Yeah, it's just to be just. And then when you won the forward of the tournament trophy, you did the little thing with the Sunday Yuska drum.
Yeah.
So I saw that.
Yeah, that was fun. I remember I was turning away after the picture, and then I heard and Deuce looked at me. He was like, they want you to do it. And so I was like, what? And I turned around, and then I see, I don't know, in that one section, there was, 100 fans or something. They're all staring at me. And I was like, what's going on? And I realized that that's what they wanted. So I just started shaking the hands, and the eyes got big and the smiles. And so it was cool. It was cool. It was, yeah, I mean, it's something I haven't experienced before. So
yeah. It's also one of those things where it was a quote. I don't watch much boxing, but there's a thing Anthony Joshua said after I think his fight with Ruiz, and I don't think he meant what he said, but the way he said it was quite cool. He said he doesn't fight to win; he fights to create memories. Yeah. Now, I don't believe that. I believe he fights to win.
Well, sure, but
the memories is part of it, isn't it? That's part of
winning is a memory.
Yeah, So even finishing second, that whole experience of playing in the Continental Cup twice, going to Denmark twice, the whole experience, it's just all making memories.
Yeah, I mean that's something that I'll tell my kids one day about stuff like that. It's just I got to say I played hockey in Denmark, and the fans to our team traveled there, and we had those pretty crazy hockey games that we had there, and like all that kind of stuff. It's just it's all a memory.
I mean, you had a couple of Panthers fans in Fife on Sunday.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I mean. Yeah,
they're always somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Fife is 6.5 hours from here. Yeah. Like, what are they doing up there? But they love us, so we love them.
You wait till that Belfast double header in March.
Oh, I know.
They'll be packed out in that.
Oh, I'll tell you. I've talked to people. They said they already got their flights booked and stuff like that. So
they'll be packed out there.
Yeah, I'm pumped. It's stuff like that. It's awesome to see. Yeah, it's why we love the game is because we feel that support. So.
In your career so far, which is still a fledgling career, is there a moment you'd say overall that stands out or anything that to you as an individually? That means the most to you?
Committing to Notre Dame. Yeah, easily.
As a Chicago boy, as an Illinois boy, sorry.
Committing to Notre Dame because Notre Dame also did a really good job in the recruiting process of letting me know what I'm signing up for. Like, I'm not signing up for hockey. I am, but I'm not signing up for hockey. Like, I'm signing up to set my life up. And so that was with me when I committed to Notre Dame. I was like, I knew the bigger picture. I knew, okay, this is a life-changing decision. That was probably my favorite hockey. That was the most important hockey memory to me, for sure. Obviously, winning championships are phenomenal. My best friends now too are my Notre Dame classmates. So, I mean, it changed my life, and I knew it was going to change my life at the time. So that was surreal. Yeah.
So that's a lot of hockey talk. I think I'm going about 2 hours on hockey.
Was it really?
I think so. I'll tell you when we're finished.
Right.
But I'll ask you a non-hockey question now.
Question.
What does Sam here like to do away from the rink?
Away from the rink.
I know you have a dog. I know you.
Yeah. Right now, away from the rink. Obviously, hanging out with the wife and the dog. I try to get the dog out.
Is it Australian?
Yeah, a mini Australian Shepherd.
That's the one.
His name's Bear. He's the man. Full of energy. Sometimes he's a nightmare, but he's a cute nightmare.
How old is he?
He's a little over 1 right now.
Oh wow! So you got him in the summer then?
Well, we got him the start of last season in Ontario.
Oh, okay.
So we picked him up when end of October, and he was 8 weeks old when we grabbed him. So it was a brand new puppy when we got him. But I'll I'll be with him for most of the day because the wife will be working.
So she settled in okay in Nottingham?
Yeah, she's settled in great. Yeah, so she's still working with her company back home. She's always worked remotely, so she's always come with me. She lived with me for the past 2 seasons in Ontario. Yeah, I'm really grateful that she's able to do that because it not only is
you don't always get that situation, do you?
No, you don't. And I mean, that's also a reason one of the reasons why our relationship worked because we were able to be around each other like we were. And I mean, if she couldn't work remotely, like, I wouldn't be here. To be honest, I'm not leaving her. You know what I mean? Like, we might not even be married because she wouldn't have been able to live with me in Ontario. So who knows where?
Hockey's such a nomadic sport.
Exactly. Like, so we don't know what could have happened. So we're really lucky that she's able to do that. And so she'll work, and I'll take care of the dog and. Out here, yeah, and when she's not working, we'll just go into town, grab a cup of tea or something like that. Summers, summers are awesome for a hockey player, right? Like, all you got to do is go to the gym. So I'll do that, get that out of the way, and I'll try to get to the golf course as much as I can. Yeah, little things like that. I like grilling, so I'll make sure I'm around the grill a lot and stuff like that. Yeah.
Just relax and
just relax
and get ready for another chaotic.
Exactly.
Another chaotic 9 months of work.
Save the body for the 9 months that you need to use it. Exactly.
No, that's good. Well, thank you very much for doing this.
No, thanks for having me.
No,
yeah.
It's been a pleasure.
Yeah. No. A lot of talk. Let's do it.
A lot of talk.
What was it?